The flank is a long, flat cut taken from the abdominal muscles. It's lean, contains a lot of tough fibers, and has a very distinct grain that runs the length of the steak. This is a working muscle in the truest sense, so it requires strategy. The flank is the king of marinades. Because of its coarse texture, it soaks up acids like lime juice, vinegar, and soy sauce better than any other cut. After a quick, intense sear on a hot grill, the most important rule of the flank steak comes into play. You must slice it thin and across the grain. If you slice with the grain, it will be like chewing rubber. Slice against it, and it becomes tender and flavorful. Historically, you couldn't find this in supermarkets because butchers would hide it and take it home, hence its nickname, the butcher's tenderloin. The hanger steak hangs from the diaphragm between the ribs and the loin. It is prized for its deep, intense flavor, which some describe as almost gamey or organ-like due to its proximity to the animal's kidneys. T has a very loose texture and a thick membrane running through the middle that must be removed. It's best when cooked very quickly over high heat to rare or medium rare. If overcooked, it becomes extremely tough, but when done right, it offers a unique, rich experience that blows standard supermarket steaks away. The top sirloin is the one you want for your dinner plate. It's a leaner, tougher cut than the loin steaks, but it offers a very clean, mineral-rich beef flavor that isn't masked by heavy fat. Because it's more affordable, it's the most versatile steak in the world. In Brazil, a specific part of the sirloin called the picanha with its thick fat cap left on is considered a national treasure. The key to a great sirloin is not to overcook it. Anything beyond medium rare will make it significantly tougher, as there's no fat to keep it lubricated. Known as the ambassador steak, the New York strip comes from the top part of the short loin. It's a working muscle, which means it has a tighter, more substantial grain than a tenderloin, providing a satisfying chew that many purists prefer. Its hallmark is the thick strip of fat running along one side, often called the fat tail. When grilled over high heat, this fat chars and caramelizes, creating a smoky, salty crust that is legendary in American steakhouses. It's the perfect middle ground, more flavor than a filet, but less greasy than a ribeye. In Kansas City, they often leave the bone in for extra moisture, calling it the KC strip. This is the best of both worlds cut. Both the T-bone and the porterhouse are cross sections of the short loin, featuring a T-shaped bone that separates two distinct muscles, the New York strip on one side and the Filet Mignon on the other. But here's the butcher's secret: they aren't exactly the same. According to USDA regulations, for a steak to be labeled a porterhouse, the filet side must be at least 1 to 5 inches thick. If it's smaller than that, it's just a T-bone. Cooking this is a challenge because the lean filet cooks faster than the fatty strip, so seasoned grill masters often position the filet further away from the direct heat to ensure a perfect medium rare across the entire bone. The tomahawk is essentially a ribeye, but with a dramatic twist. It's cut with at least 5 inches of the rib bone left intact and Frenched, meaning the meat and fat are scraped off the bone until it's perfectly clean. Named for its resemblance to a Native American axe, this steak is built for theater. While critics argue you're paying extra for a bone you can't eat, the bone actually serves a purpose. It acts as an insulator, slowing down the cooking process and helping the meat retain its juices. It's almost always served reverse seared, baked slowly in the oven first and finished with a scorching sear to create a crust that contrasts with the tender, pink interior. The filet mignon is the ultimate luxury cut. Anatomically, this muscle, the psoas major, sits inside the rib cage along the spine. Because it's a non-weight-bearing muscle, it never develops the tough connective tissue found in the legs or shoulders. The result is a steak so soft you can practically cut it with a fork. However, there's a trade-off because it's incredibly lean with almost no intramuscular fat or marbling. It lacks the intense, beefy punch of other steaks. To master the filet, chefs recommend a quick sear in a cast-iron skillet followed by a generous butter basting with rosemary and garlic to inject the flavor it lacks naturally. If the filet is about texture, the ribeye is about pure, unadulterated flavor. Carved from the primal rib section, usually between ribs 6 and 12, this cut is defined by its massive fat deposits. The most prized part is the spinalis dorsi, or the ribeye cap, which sits like a crown around the central eye of meat. As the steak cooks, this fat renders down, deeply seasoning the meat from within. This is the steak that benefits most from dry aging, a process where the beef sits in a temperature-controlled room for 30 to 60 days, allowing enzymes to break down fibers and concentrate the flavor into something nutty, blue cheese-like, and profoundly savory. Watch my other videos.